$1 million may look like a lot of money, and of course it is, but probably in 10 years it may sound less large of a money because of the less buying power it has in 10 years than it is today. The reason is inflation. In today's video, we'll look at what is inflation, how it affects your savings, and how to prevent inflation from ruining your long-term and short-term financial goals.
So, what is inflation? Broadly speaking, inflation is the rate of increase in prices for goods and services. It can happen because of an increase in the cost of producing those goods and services. Another reason could be that the demand is higher than the supply, leading to price increases. Whatever the cost, as prices increase, you'll need more money to buy the same things you used to buy for less. So how inflation affects your savings? Along with the change in prices, inflation can affect your savings and how much you need to put away for unexpected financial emergencies. A good emergency savings fund should have enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But over time, if your expenses increase because of inflation, the amount you need to put away should increase too, or else you could come up with short in a pinch. So how much are the prices rising? As of August 2023, inflation is at 4.3 according to the Consumer Price Index published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This index is one of the most common measures of inflation. So if you keep your cash in hand instead of depositing it in an interest-earning savings account, you would expect it to have less spending power this time next year due to inflation if the rate stays the same. For historical content, the long-term average rate of inflation has generally been between 2% and 4% annually. You can't really stop inflation, but you can make your money work to try and keep up with it. These strategies can help. Put short-term savings in a high-yield account. The best online high-yield savings account currently earn around 5% annual percentage yield, and while that may not currently beat the inflation, it's much more than the average savings rate. It is important to note that the role of your short-term savings is to provide easy access to your money when you need it, not necessarily keep it up with inflation. You might want to get in the habit of adding up your monthly expenses on a regular basis and comparing the total to how much you have saved. Remember that 3 to 6 months worth of emergency savings is ideal. If your savings balance need a boost, consider setting up regular automatic deposits from checking to savings to build your rainy day fund. Use investments for long-term savings. If your short-term savings is fully funded and you're looking for ways to make your extra money work harder against inflation, consider that the stock market has had an average returns in the past century of about 10% annually. There is no guarantee that future earnings will continue to match that rate, and when you factor in inflation, it could leave the real return close to 4%. But even then, investments including some bonds can be your best bet for earning long-term returns that beat inflation. If you're saving for retirement, you can put your retirements in a 401k or an IRA and take advantage of valued tax benefits too. So, should you worry about the cost of inflation? Inflation isn't always bad news. As prices rise due to increased demand, businesses may need to hire more workers to fill the demand, which can lead to higher wages. In addition, government benefits including Social Security may have a cost of living increase. If recipients are able to keep at least some of costs low, it could mean more spending power. Lower inflation rates, on the other hand, can lead to lower interest rates, which makes it harder for savers to earn high yields in their accounts. Overall, the Federal Reserve holds a long-term target rate for inflation at 2%. You can control inflation, but don't have to let it erode your savings either. Be smart about where you put your money, keep an eye on your expenses, and you can reach your savings goals without missing a beat. Subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of the videos on personal finance and you get notified.